Greetings, MFL Year 33 members. This is your Week 2 update, review, and your Week 3 preview. Hopefully getting on this a little earlier from now on throughout the rest of the season. Definitely planning again on getting with some folks once the season starts to take shape. Seeing if we can get like a Zoom meeting going and record the screen and post that as our update. But for today, it's just me. I have put on the video here the matchups for week 2 and kind of some interesting results, starting with the Hoopton Corn Jerkers beat the Tulsa Quakenados. That is a pretty significant upset because Hoopton was not projected to win. I think Hoopton exceeded their expectations here a lot. You might notice over here on the league chat, they've posted the update, and the worst manager, according to Sleeper this week, was the Tulsa Quakenados. He could have scored 191 points, and as it was, he only scored 144. And folks, again, I'll just tell you, worst manager is not necessarily a bad thing. It means that you have got a pretty deep team, and that you're probably over the course of a season going to work it out. So, let me reapply the kiss of death here to the Tulsa Quakenados. Despite my victory, I think they're going to be fine. But that is the double whammy. Pick them to win it, and then my team goes in and beats them. That might further confirm that there is a definitive kiss of death when the commissioner picks you to win it. So just so you know, it's still there. Best manager this week was Steve, our defending champion. It does look, though, like he kind of had to sweat it out a little bit here against Harold. So defending champ is 2-0. Harold's 1-1, and I have a feeling he's going to be fine too as the season goes along. I think there's 3 2-0 teams, and I think there's 3 0-2 teams, and then everyone else is in the middle at 1-1. So, it'll all have to sort itself out here, that's for sure. West Canaan, I believe, wins our lowest score award. They even get the little chocolate ice cream emoji there, the soft serve with eyes. West Canaan Coyotes score 112 and are our lowest score of the week. By the way, right next to that, our overachiever, our new member who spent all their money in the silent bidding, crushed not only their opponent this week, but pretty much everybody. She is 2-0, and as I have stated, she is in it to win it. If you don't remember the silent bidding results, she picked up Saquon, and she picked up Malik Neighbors, and she franchised Puka, and she's doing really well. And believe me, that was not the way I instructed necessarily for her to do anything. I just told her, hey, this is kind of how it looks when you bid a lot of money. This is the way it looks when you bid a little bit of money, and she went all the way. So watch out for the new member here, that is for sure. Toledo appears to have defeated the TDs, who are off to an 0-2 start. And San Antonio beat the Kansas City Ass Kickers. By the way, I think San Antonio, they get the win with the lowest amount of points. I think there's an award for that somewhere. Might be on the phone update. Whenever you get the phone update, if you want to go to the chat and click on that, it tells you who won their game with the fewest amount of points. And I think that might have been San Antonio. So here are our standings. We got the Army, the Squirrels, and the Tube Stakes at 2-0, and all of them appear to be pretty formidable teams. By the way, right now, just divided by points. We do have tiebreakers when it comes down to it of And I've got all that written down, so if we ever need to look at it, we can. But we've got our own tiebreakers, so we'll go through that if we ever need to. Among the 1-1 teams, it looks like Kansas City's in pretty good shape, so don't be disappointed. And surprisingly, again, Hoopton sitting here at 1-1. I was not expecting that. I fully expected to be 0-2, so kind of hanging in there. And if the playoffs were today, we would have to figure out something because we've got 9 teams at 500 or better. So luckily they're not today. And again, that tends to sort itself out. We will take either 6, 7, or 8 teams to the playoffs. If we have 9 teams at 500 or better, that we may have to hold an emergency Zoom meeting or something like that. Bringing up the rear here, we've got Tulsa, which, again, got to be honest, I think they're going to respond just fine. CDs, who I actually think is pretty good as well, and Cleveland, who I think is probably also going to be okay. So, by the way, it looks like down here you see the little, again, soft serve emoji with the eyes on the standings. I believe they have the most points scored against the Cleveland Crashlets, which is a explanation as to perhaps why they are off to such a rough start. So kind of a schedule winch there, if you will. But anyway, so just know that that's your recap for week 2. A couple of notes I thought I would throw in here. I've been going through some of the salary information, and I'm going to see if I can pull this up. This is, first of all, I'll start at the bottom. Franchise salaries for 2026. So we can already do that because I don't think anyone has enough money to reset the scale here. And that's usually the way it works after the live auction. So very likely I will post this in our chat and make it a pinned post. So it'll just be there for next year. But going into next season, our franchise salaries, quarterbacks are going to be 142. And then I went ahead just for reference, notice 2025 was 120 and 2024 was 98. So it's gone up 22 over the last couple of years. And I think that's a reflection of we went to a super flex, and so quarterbacks became more important. Just for the record, I also have a note here that the highest paid quarterback is Jared Allen at 146. And the salary that fell right outside of setting the franchise amount was Jared Goff at 100. So there were 5 quarterbacks above Jared Goff at 100. So, just know that I take the top 5, I get the average, I take 10% of that average and add that, and that's the new franchise amount. I do not add 10% to each individual salary before I do the calculation, because that creates a different number. So just so you know, if you're an accountant, or because I know there's at least one of y'all out there, that's how I do it. I just take the numbers as they are. I get the mean, add them up, divide by 5, take 10% of that number, and then add it to that number, and there's the new number. If there are any decimals, even if it's 0.01, and I do carry it out to the hundredths, it still goes up a point. It does not go down. So if you ever want to recheck that, right now you can actually go into Sleeper, into the draft results, and you can do the math yourself. If you see I made a mistake, let me know. Running backs next year are going to be 124. This past year they were 111. Believe it or not, in 2024 they were 122. So we've had a little roller coaster ride on the running backs. But us old school fantasy football guys know that running backs are pretty vital. And we went through a little time there where it was a wide receiver league, and I think we might be getting back to the running back days, which is kind of nice. Wide receiver went up to 123 from 101, and 2024 was 108. So everything kind of went up as it relates to salary structure, which means we might be a little top heavy, which is okay. Notice that you got to borrow kind of from some other position, and that is definitely tight end. Tight end's kind of holding steady here. It's 47 next year. It was 45 last year. It was 54 the year before that. That's the Travis Kelce effect right there. So I think if we get another Travis Kelce, for example, Brock Bowers or Tyler Warren or someone like that, that number will start to go up again. But I think people are saving money at tight end so they can go spend it other places, is what it looks like to me. I would also point out here, I made a little list. It's really hard to do record books anymore. I used to keep a pretty extensive record book on our league, but we have changed from flex to super flex. We have changed some scoring, little quirky scoring things and stuff just based on the fact that some host sites do not necessarily like our old school manners of doing things. And so I feel like sometimes our records are a little bit obsolete. Back in the day, we had a kicker. I think it was Morton Anderson who just crushed it. And we when I say we, it was pretty much Harold and me, maybe just me, just scaled back kicker scoring because it didn't make sense to have a 30-point kicker. So some of those records are probably just never going to be broken, and that's fine. But I think something that is kind of relevant is the highest paid player at each position. This is pretty accurate. Now, I will tell you, over the last few years, I haven't been as observant of it. But again, if anybody wants to, if you remember paying someone more than this, then you let me know and we can update it. But the highest paid rookie, believe it or not, was in 2018. We have not paid a rookie more than Saquon Barkley was paid at 122 points. Now, back then it was in millions, so it would have been, 61 million, whatever that is. But it has been converted to points, and that's still pretty accurate. But that was Jacob, my son. He's no longer in the league, the Green Lantern Corps, and I don't know if he knows he still holds the record, but so it looks like he had some foresight there, that's for sure. Because Saquon, especially these days, is still cranking it out. This year we set several records for highest paid player, and this is a record that tends to get reset pretty frequently, especially at some of these important positions. So running back was tied. Bijan Robinson was paid $137 this year, and that ties Christian McCaffrey from 2020. So Gotham City and San Antonio kind of co-hold that record. Jamar Chase at 137 this year was the highest paid wide receiver ever. And that is the Cleveland Crashlets at this year, 2025. A couple of records, again, that I don't know that'll ever be broken. Matt Prater was paid 28 points back in 2014. I think because Johnny was mad at Jesse, two people who have not been in our league for a while. And so he just was bound and determined to outbid him on, at that point, the Broncos kicker. There's obviously a story behind all that, but I think Johnny was just like, you're not getting him. And so he paid him 28 points. And then some team called the Lost Riches, who I believe is one of the rare teams that ever got just expelled from this league, along with Jesse's team. They paid the Broncos 25, but both of those are Broncos, the Prater and the defense. So that was 2014, 2017. And again, I don't know that those records will ever be broken. These days, when we get up to like 12 points, that's pretty expensive. And we're not even halfway there. So, just keep in mind, that's the equivalent back in the day of like 12 and a half, 14 million. So, I don't know. I get into weird little quirky things like that, but congratulations to Kansas City, Gotham City, and Cleveland. You have reset the market, if you will, on the highest paid players. Back to our update, or our preview, I guess, for week 3. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. And again, I don't know if everybody has set their lineups yet or not. I tend to set my lineup just to see if there's a hole somewhere I need to fill. I don't know if anyone else does it that way. But if you'll notice, once again, it appears our beloved Hoopton Corn Jerkers are supposed to go in and lose to the defending champion Gray Squirrels. The Army looks like they are ready to just smoke West Canaan. Winterfell, Little upset, I think, in some leagues, made some lineup decision issues fall their way. But they have Cleveland coming up, and they are looking to go to 2-1 based on what Sleeper thinks. The Quake NATOs are set to crush Leavenworth. If I know of anybody who probably hasn't set their Week 3 lineup at all, it's probably Harold, though. So that's okay. Pretty competitive matchup here between CDs and San Antonio. That's probably getting close to one. CDs probably needs to start thinking about getting off the schneid there. And then Kansas City, as of this moment, looks like they're going to roll Toledo, but probably also another team that has not set their lineup yet. Those guys get pretty busy, that's for sure. So, yeah, there's our standings again. And just for the record, I guess to end this, over here it gives you the bench warmers of the week. And I thought it was kind of important to point out very much some names that we were probably not expecting. Russell Wilson, Ramondre Stevenson. He's supposed to have had a rookie take over his job. Wan'Dale Robinson. Zach Ertz, of all people. Don't know how much longer those guys are going to be sitting on people's benches. That's for sure. So anyway, I think that wraps us up for this week. Everybody keeps setting those lineups. You should have, again, some free agent possibilities on Sunday mornings before kickoff so that if there are any last-second holes to fill or something, you can make that happen. Keep in mind, you don't have to have money left over from the live auction. You can operate your season at zero. It's just if you're trying to put in waivers, you've got to bid zero, and if anyone bids $1, then you lose. But there's a lot of times you can go get someone for $1 or for zero, actually, for that matter, depending on how closely people are paying attention. All right. You guys stay safe out there, and I will plan on updating you again next week.